faces on our Zoom call tonight. And of course, this is not how we envisioned this when we started Pitch Night last year, when we had our first session and we were all together in the same room. But just like entrepreneurs, we are all pivoting and navigating the new terrain that faces us today. So I just want to take a minute and say, I know you've had a day. I know you've been doing stuff all day long. It's 5 p.m. You're here. We're so happy about that. We hope you enjoy Pitch Night, and we really thank not only the community support, our sponsors tonight, you're going to hear more about shortly, all of the volunteers that help make this night happen, but most importantly, our entrepreneurs, both those that applied and the 5 that you're going to be hearing about tonight. So it is my pleasure to introduce my colleague, my friend, Kim Vogel, Greenhouse co-manager. She and I are going to kick you off tonight by first reviewing some kind of just reminders before we get started, and then we're going to get right into the program.
All right. Thanks, Jess. Hello, everyone. Hello, St. Pete. And actually, I think there's people who signed up from all over the country. So we're really excited. And we know that there's going to be more people joining us. According to our registration, we had 150 people sign up. So that's just huge for us. So thank you so much for supporting entrepreneurship and supporting St. Pete. We are so happy and so proud of our team, our greenhouse team, and all of our volunteers and our supporters, all of our friends from the city and from the chamber. Thank you, thank you. We couldn't have done this without you. And so we're so excited to celebrate entrepreneurship. So just a couple of things, because we are in Zoom and we're all, I think, for the most part, trying to get used to being on this Zoom platform. We've obviously set a few Zoom etiquette rules. So we just ask that if you are an audience member, that you just please stay muted. This is the time for us to really focus on our talented entrepreneurs and our pitches. And so we really want them to be heard. We want to make sure that there isn't anything disturbing them, because they've only got 6 minutes to present. And then the judges are gonna ask them a bunch of questions in that next 6 minutes too. So we just want to make sure that they get the time that they deserve. We are going to be as respectful as possible. We are encouraging you to use either the speaker view and especially use that speaker view when the presenters are on. And then even when we go into questions with the judges, feel free to change that. If you go up into that corner, you'll see speaker view. Change that into that gallery view so that you can see people and you can actually see the judges interacting with our presenters tonight. If you are having any kind of technical difficulties, will you please reach out to Montana, Candace, or Tracy, and they are introducing themselves right now into chat. So any kind of technical difficulties, just reach out to them, okay? And they're also going to be dropping in all sorts of really great information in there as we move along. We do encourage you to share your kind and supportive feedback. And again, this is truly a wonderful competition, but really community support of what entrepreneurship is. So please stay positive. Let's see entrepreneurship succeed in St. Pete. And now I get the pleasure of introducing the president and CEO of the St. Petersburg Chamber, who is a huge supporter of entrepreneurs, Mr. Chris Steinacker.
All right, Kim, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me all right. Is everybody, can you hear me? Give me a nod, Kim, so I'm watching you. So, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you clearly, Chris.
Perfect, I apologize. Good to see everybody virtually, and thank you very much. Boy, I am nervous for some reason, and I'm not even doing this, but I was watching the pitches ahead of time, and I tell you, we have got some great competition, but it's just going to be a lot of fun tonight. And I just want to thank everybody for their efforts. We're going through extraordinary times right now throughout our society, and especially here in St. Pete. We've learned a lot about ourselves. We learned we can endure. We learned we need to adjust and change. We've learned a lot about ourselves in a way that helps us challenge ourselves for the next step. And that is what entrepreneurship is to us every day. So to me, what we've learned these last 6 months has prepared us for where we're going. These challenges are ahead of us, but every entrepreneur who's watching right now knows that's every day. Every day is a new challenge. So these last 6 months have prepared us. And we 7 years ago set out, when we created the greenhouse, to work on economic gardening, because we didn't want to be beholden to any business to come here and say, here, look, we're going to bring you jobs, give us money. We said, no, we're going to start the greenhouse. We're going to grow our own, and we're going to grow our own jobs, and we're going to take care of that. And look how far we've come. The greenhouse in the last 6 months, with the city and the chamber at its helm, have not missed a beat. We've had an entrepreneur academy and a graduation of it, and it was a beautiful thing. 25 folks came through it. The city and the mayor have led us on a fighting chance fund to bring resources, almost $5 million of resources, to the businesses that are trying to grow in our community. And we're still educating people and bringing people together through all of our meetups and classes at the greenhouse virtually. So to me, St. Pete was built for this kind of environment where we're going to challenge each other. We're going to take care of each other, though, too. And I think our mayor and our chamber have done a good job. We're concerned about the numbers out there. So before I leave, I want to say to everybody, please, we know these numbers are scary. We know that social distancing works. We know wearing a mask works. We hope you'll do the right thing. We know our businesses are. We're asking you to do the same thing. I heard Kim mention tonight's about those entrepreneurs. It certainly is. And every day in St. Pete is about our entrepreneurs. We know that when we create an entrepreneur, they will do the rest. They're going to create that city that you and I fall in love with every day. They're going to employ our neighbors and our friends and our family, and they're going to bring us the coolest things. So today is about those entrepreneurs. Let's cheer them on. Let's find more of them, and let's do this again. Thanks to all the sponsors, especially thankful to the Greenhouse team for pursuing this through all your trials and tribulations. We're here tonight, and let's have a party. Let's get going. Thank you, Kim.
And Chris, I'd love for you to introduce Mayor Kreisman.
I apologize. Yes, I will. I mentioned him a few times. I don't do anything in this community without our partner in crime here, and that's our city. We are very blessed. We're on the same page. Many communities right now are divided. They're fighting each other. They're challenging each other. Our community these last 6 years has seen great lift when we cooperate, when we meet in the middle, when we challenge ourselves to understand another perspective. That's what our mayor has done for me and our chamber, and I know he's done it for the city. So I'm proud of what he's done to cut all the red tape in St. Pete for every entrepreneur. So let me introduce to you my mayor, your mayor, Mayor Rick Kreisman. Mayor.
Thank you, Chris, and welcome everyone. Welcome to our second pitch night. I want to thank all of you for, in these times of COVID, I can't say coming out to participate. So instead, I'm going to say I want to thank you all for Zooming with us today. As has been said, and I know Chris was talking about it, we're living in some very strange times. But I want you all to know that our entrepreneurial spirit is still alive and well in St. Pete. Our business community, and particularly our small business community, has been and will always be central to who we are in St. Petersburg. Our small businesses really are part of our DNA. It is what makes us so different from any other city in the country. You walk up and down Central Avenue, you walk around the city, you will see businesses in St. Pete that you will not see anywhere else. And that is why people want to come to St. Pete and want to be a part of St. Pete. So I want to thank my small business liaison and the greenhouse co-manager, Jessica Eilerman, for helping to make tonight possible. Thank you, Jessica. And I always want to say thank you to my friend and ribbon cutting partner. And we look forward to the day when we are able to do so fully in person again and see if we can't beat our 4 ribbons in one day. The president and CEO of the chamber, Chris Steinacher. But finally, and most importantly, I want to thank our businesses and the entrepreneurs who have come out tonight to make their pitch. Tonight isn't just about business or businesses. Tonight is really about ideas. And I know you all are excited to hear some great ideas. So let's get started. Good luck to all of you who are pitching tonight. And thank you for being a part of Pitch Night the second. Thank you all so much.
Hey, there she is. Go ahead, Jess.
Thank you, Mayor. really appreciate everything that you and Chris do to support our entrepreneurs and small businesses. As the staff team at the greenhouse and our partners in the chamber and so many others, we feel the support that we have from our leadership. Working together is a wonderful thing for our community, and that's when we can move forward together. So we're so appreciative to have both of you here and your support tonight and always. It's my pleasure to introduce two of our sponsors for this evening. Without their just dedication and support to this initiative, we would not be able to be here. So we are just so thankful for two wonderful community leaders show up. They're with us every step of the way. It's hard in St. Pete when it has to do with entrepreneurship and business development and not see these two gentlemen in front of you. And so it is my pleasure to introduce Stephen Ponzillo, the AVP and Community Relations Officer for Regions Bank. I've known Stephen for a really long time, and he is an advocate always for entrepreneurship and is there anytime you need him. So Stephen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And my good friend, Shri Sudaram, who is the Dean of the Kate Tiedemann College of Business at the University of South Florida, St. Petersburg. I have had a wonderful opportunity to work with Shri and our Grow Smarter initiative here in St. Petersburg. And again, just can't say enough about the commitment and dedication that these two individuals and their organizations have in moving St. Pete forward as an entrepreneurial hub. So Shri, Stephen, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
So good evening, Jessica. It's Stephen. How is everybody? Hope you can hear me well. Looking forward to seeing our great pitches
Yes,
tonight.
we can hear you.
Well, I just wanted to say a few quick words. Thanks for the introduction, Jessica. You know, at Regions, our mission is to make life better. And it's not just a tagline, it's what we strive to do every single day for our bank customers, our associates, and our community, most importantly. It's not just about giving money, it's how we can really partner year-round on nights like this, but every other day and evening to make sure that we're helping to create pathways for success. We do this all across Tampa Bay, but St. Petersburg is very special to us. It's very special to me. And we're really glad of the partnerships that we have in the city that help remove barriers for people and help empower them through financial wellness, for education, and especially economic opportunity. That's why we're so glad to be here tonight and to be with our friends like Shri at USF St. Petersburg, with Work Lodge, and of course, all of you. Now, this event is really designed to showcase our entrepreneurs and how creative and hardworking they are, and on those the traits that we really admire most about our city overall. So I hope you will really celebrate them tonight. And of course, we know how important entrepreneurship can be to creating the kind of growth we all want to see, inclusive growth that includes every person and every part of our great city. So with that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. And thank you especially for allowing Regions to be a partner in the city's success. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you, Stephen. Good evening, everyone. Jessica, thank you for your kind words. You know, it's, again, this is one of the great things about this community is the successful partnerships that we have. We have a common goal of building a strong entrepreneurial ecosystem, and we have a great tri-party partnership here between the city, the business community, and the university. So it is a wonderful opportunity to launch something like the St. Pete Pitch Night. It's about 2 years ago. I still remember sitting on at our boardroom, I think Kim and Jessica and the rest of the team. So to see this come alive, it's been fantastic when we launched it last year. And then, you know, obviously we were ready to launch the second one earlier this year, but nature had some other plans in mind. But I'm so glad to see when Kim called and said, hey, we're going to do this virtually, I said, we're in. I want to thank, again, both the city, the chamber, and our business community, especially Regions Bank, for their support in making this come alive and support our community in building a strong entrepreneurial ecosystem. And I also want to thank all the entrepreneurs who are going to be pitching tonight. You're looking forward to some great pitches this evening. And for all the sponsors who are supporting this also. Without that, this cannot happen. Again, thank you, and I want to wish you all the best. Without any further delay, I want to now introduce to you Mr. Dan McLean. Dan is a St. Pete native and a proud USF alumni, and he's going to tell us a little bit about WorkLodge and what they do and how they are helping us with building a strong entrepreneurial ecosystem here. Dan, please take it away.
Thank you for the introduction, and go Bulls. So as everybody else has said, it's amazing to be a part of this event. As a St. Pete native, I mean, this truly embodies what our community is about. And so for us as a new business in St. Pete to have this opportunity to partner with the greenhouse and to work with entrepreneurs and startups, it's a really exciting opportunity for us. For those that aren't familiar with WorkLodge, we are St. Pete's newest private office and shared workspace located right next door to the greenhouse and across from Williams Park. I would love to invite you all to come out and take a quick tour. But because this event isn't about us and it's about you, I want to use just a couple minutes to congratulate all of the entrepreneurs for making it here. For those that we have had the chance to meet, it's your passion for doing what you do is what truly inspires us and is what keeps, I know, me personally going through these difficult times. We look forward to continuing to support all of you in the greenhouse and the other businesses in the community. It's sharing experiences like this that really make us stronger, make us better business owners. And when the world comes to the point that it's at now, we're in this together. So it's really great to be in this with everybody. If I can share just one piece of advice from my own experience as a business owner, it's to just take a moment and pause and celebrate the wins, especially the small ones. All too often we focus on the major milestones, and when the world feels like it's crumbling around us, which for me, lately that's been almost every single morning, we tend to get so wrapped up on holding it together. So now, probably more than ever, we should all take a moment to pause and celebrate the fact that we've made it to this point. No matter how tonight ends for any of the entrepreneurs that are pitching, I strongly encourage you to just take a moment tonight or tomorrow, reflect, and celebrate the journey that has gotten you here. You are here today. You're getting ready to share something that you're passionate and excited about. Take a moment to enjoy this moment and know that tomorrow is a new day, and you should start it with the same passion and excitement that has gotten you here. So to all those that are pitching, good luck. To all those that are here and are new faces, we really hope we get the chance to meet you all in person soon and show you to our new space. With that, I'll give you guys the mic back so we can get started.
Thanks, Dan. All right, you guys, it's about time to pitch. It's getting really exciting now. I have to say this really important thing. There are so many entrepreneurs that are literally in the Zoom room right now. And one of them that I am so excited to introduce to you is Esther Eugene. I met Esther because she was one of the incredibly brave, innovative souls who made the decision that she was going to go through the Entrepreneurial Academy no matter what. No matter if it was virtual, no matter what. She was going to make sure that she was there. And she was just an incredible participant and graduate of the Entrepreneurial Academy. So Esther Eugene, who is our MC for tonight, is the founder and CEO at All Administrative Solutions, which is a full-service administrative firm that specializes in supporting companies with workload capacity concerns, critical day-to-day administrative functions, and empowering them to successfully grow their businesses. Esther is somebody you want on your team. Esther is energetic, professional, with a proven record of program management and community outreach, with a wealth of experience in developing public outreach. And Esther has been doing a lot of amazing work with one community through this entire COVID experience. So it is my pleasure and my honor to introduce to you the MC for this evening, Esther Eugene. Come on up, Esther, it's all yours now.
All righty, listen, welcome everybody. I wanna place emphasis on something that Dan just said. This is a celebration. It is absolutely amazing for, I think, all of us to participate and also for the pitchers to pitch. What a phenomenal moment in time. I want to say we have a tight schedule this evening. I'm going to, of course, act as your master commander to this particular ship. We're going to get through 5 amazing pitches. I'm ready if you guys are. We're ready to get the party started. Please note each pitch will be given 6 minutes to present. After those 6 minutes, they will be followed by a 6-minute Q&A. That Q&A will be presented to them by our judges. At that point, we will then move forward. We'll have a dedicated stopwatch. We'll alert each other when time is up. The expert judge panel will then move forward with their roles in this particular selection process. We're ready to go. I wanna take some time now to introduce our judges. I'd like everyone to give a warm welcome to our first local expert judge, Ruben Pressman. Ruben is the founder and chief executive officer of Presence, a software platform which he founded to help higher educational institutions understand data and take action to increase student engagement, success, and workforce readiness. Ruben is also the current entrepreneur in residence for the city of St. Petersburg and was born and raised in the Tampa Bay area. So if we can just give a quick virtual clap for Ruben. Ruben, if you can wave at the camera for us. Hey, awesome. Our second local expert judge is Lauren Davenport. Lauren is the founder and CEO at the Symphony Agency, a healthcare communications firm that amplifies what has made an organization successful in the past and empowers them with what is needed to empowers them to what they need to successfully scale for the future. An award-winning entrepreneur and brand strategist, Lauren travels the country aligning leadership teams to craft brand stories that inspire loyalty and drive organizational growth. She has been featured in the media on Forbes, the New York Times, Univision, and much more. If we can please give a virtual hand clap to Lauren. Thank you, Lauren. Our third local, I heard someone, I'm sorry.
Oh, just saying, excited to be here.
Hey, Lauren. Our third local expert judge is Dr. Sudaram, and you heard from Dr. Sudaram earlier. A little bit about Dr. Sudaram. He's the Tiedemann Cotton Dean and Professor of Finance at the Kate Tiedemann College of Business, University of South Florida, St. Petersburg. His educational background includes a master's degree in accounting, an MBA, and a doctorate degree in finance. He has received the Faculty Recognition Awards in teaching, research, and service. He is an active researcher with publications in some of the top finance journals. He has also held leadership positions in professional organizations, nonprofit organizations, and higher education institutions. Currently, he serves on the executive board of the St. Petersburg Chamber of Commerce, yay, and the board of the St. Pete EDC. Board of the St. Anthony's Hospital, and was 2019 chair of the Grow Smarter initiative in St. Petersburg. A very warm welcome to Dr. Sudaram. Thank you for being here. And last but definitely not least, our local expert judge, Jim Donatelli. Jim Donatelli has served as a city president and senior vice president of Regions Bank for the past decade. He manages 325 people in 36 offices and has experienced annualized growth rates at regions that prove his success. Jim is a St. Pete Chamber BOD member since 2014, and he's also served as the past chair. Jim chaired the Finance Committee and co-chaired the original committee that created the Grow Smarter strategy for inclusive prosperity. That led to the establishment of the St. Pete EDC, of which he is the founding and current board member. Jim is an active parent at Canterbury School of Florida, serving on the Board of Trustees and a longtime sponsor of the United Way. Thank you, Jim, for being a part of this. We appreciate all of you guys. I want to thank you to each judge who's here tonight. The presentation order of tonight's pitches was randomly selected and drawn out of a hat at 1 million cups. We're pleased to welcome our first pitcher of the night to the stage, Holy Noah of Eat Your Words Custom Cookies. Holly, are you ready? Clock will begin. Let's pitch.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, let me share my screen. And I'm ready to go when you are.
We are ready.
Well, good evening.
Clock starts now.
I am Holly Noah, and I am the founder of Eat Your Weird Custom Cookies. Can we stop the clock? I'm getting an echo.
We can. If we can just put everybody on mute, except for Holly.
And
all right, Holly, we're gonna go ahead and start the clock again for you.
Okay, can you hear me okay first?
I can.
Okay, great, thank you.
All righty.
So sorry about that. Okay, starting over. Good evening, everyone. My name is Holly Noah, and I am the founder of Eat Your Words Custom Cookies. And to be clear, Eat Your Words Custom Cookies is not a cookie company. We are a confectionery communications company. We make custom cookies for any occasion that are personal, memorable, and delicious. The question often comes up, what do I get for so-and-so? There's a challenge here. Gift givers want unique, custom gifts that are perfect for either business or personal giving. They want something that's going to make the recipient feel special and that they can feel good about giving. And that means not just a gift card to someplace. But they're also looking for convenience, an easy way to buy, and a good value for the dollar. Well, Eat Your Words Custom Cookies has solved that challenge. We bake a truly personalized gift. It's unlike anything else you'll find on the market today. We help givers feel great and receivers feel great, and we make it easy. You can buy online, you can ship anywhere in the country, and it's a great value. Our cookies start at just under $30. So what is it that customers love? They love that they can say it in cookie. You see, Eat Your Words Custom Cookies are alphabet-shaped cookies. Our sugar cookies are letters, numbers, and shapes arranged as a message and placed on a board and delivered in a beautiful blue box tied with a bow. And every box has a story. For example, these cookies were sent to a woman who hiked the Grand Canyon to raise money for the disease that she herself was fighting. Or these cookies that were sent to a newly minted graduate of the U.S. Air Force Academy. That's Hunter, pictured on the photo cookie in the center of that box. Or these cookies that were sent to or ordered by a mom who wanted something very special for her princess's first birthday. Or cookies like these, hello from isolation, sent to by a son to his parents during COVID-19 isolation. He was playing it safe by staying at home, but wanted to reach out. Our business customers have the very same objectives that our consumer customers have. They want to make their partners, their employees, and their customers feel valued and feel special. And our cookies help them do that. In fact, the experience of Eat Your Words Custom Cookies is really fun. It starts with a box that arrives in the mail that says, "Open quick, cookies inside," where you'll find a beautifully wrapped blue box, and inside a special message like this one, "Welcome home," that was sent to the Bankies by their realtor when they moved into the new home she helped them buy. But Eat Your Words Custom Cookies is more than just messages. We're logo cookies, photo cookies, party cookies for every occasion you can think of, whether it's a baby shower or a bat mitzvah or a birthday, a wedding,
graduation, you name it, Eat Your Words Custom Cookies will bake it. In fact, we make it easy and fun to gift uniquely. You can order online through our website or call us. You can choose the date you'd like your cookies delivered. You can have them shipped or pick them up locally in our factory. And it can be one box or a dozen cookies, or it could be 200 boxes or even 1,000 logo cookies. We do it all. In fact, we've been making the dough since 2016, but in 2017, I left corporate America to focus all of my effort on really making the dough and growing Eat Your Words Custom Cookies from the ground up. We moved out of my home kitchen into our own factory about a year ago, and since that time, you can see that our sales are straight up. And in fact, for 2020, we're projecting more than 150% growth year over year, which we're very excited and grateful for. Our sweet spot from a customer perspective is the financial services business. That is a huge industry for us on the business side. And our sweet spot on the consumer side is women aged 25 to 54. I've gotten several emails and phone calls from people saying, you know what, I am so glad I found you. You're my new go-to option. You see, the gift buyers and party planners want an easy way to buy, want a clever gift, something that's unique and special. And in fact, 57% of our repeat customers order 3 or more times. But for us, really, this is about the icing on top. What we do and why we do it is for joy. Our customers love us because we help them put smiles on people's faces, like this dentist who received these cookies from one of his patients and then posted to Instagram. That's why we do what we do, for those smiles, that joy every day. And we want to help you deliver this kind of joy as well. So you just need to tell us how we can help you. Say it in cookie. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Holly. Fantastic, fantastic job. We're going to go ahead and turn it over to the judges for Q&A.
Okay.
6 minutes back on the clock, please.
Hi, Holly. This is Ruben here. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you, Ruben. Thank you.
Awesome. Great presentation. Thank you. And congratulations on the growth you've seen so far and what you're projecting for this year. I particularly like kind of the intro that you had around the shift from we're not just making cookies, we're selling a new way to communicate. And I think that's a really sharp way to present your brand. So that's awesome. I'm curious on your future plans, right? So 50% growth year over year this year. How do you continue that? And how do you even blow that out more? Do you have plans for kind of what the business turns into, or is this what you're looking at doing?
So ultimately, we are driving for growth in both our business and our consumer segments. The business customer for us is predictable, far more predictable than consumer. I don't know if you saw the graph at the top right, but there's seasonality in the consumer side of the business. There's seasonality regardless, but there's more seasonality in the consumer. So we really want to focus a lot of our growth on businesses who can look to Eat Your Words Custom Cookies, not only for client appreciation at the holidays, which we do an absolute ton of, but also for employee recognition and gratitude programs, and for partners and that sort of thing. We have some of that business today, but ultimately I look at having a roster of clients, large and small and across the country, who have us on speed dial or part of their employee reward and recognition programs and that sort of thing. So that's part one of growth. The other part of the growth is really around the consumer base. And the beautiful thing about what we do is it's highly viral. When our cookies land on someone's doorstep, they open them and they go, oh my gosh, how cool is this? We often, in fact, I took a call today and took 2 orders from a recipient of cookies who got birthday cookies last week, and she's shipping 2 different cookie packages out next week. And that's all because she received them in the mail from someone else. So ultimately, there's a viral nature, and then there's also growth that will drive in particular audiences with, back to school and college kids, as well as different groups of people that seem to have a high affinity for what we do. So 2-pronged strategy over the long term.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Holly, this is Shri, and a quick question following up on that. So how are you marketing, and what kind of a projection do you have for growth, and following up on, and from a scaling perspective, can you talk a little bit about how you plan to scale, and is there going to be other product lines, and how are you reaching your audiences?
Okay, so great question, thank you. From a marketing perspective, interestingly, we have done a little bit of web-based marketing, SEO. Social media has been the primary push for us. And we've also done some PR through a PR agency that has been very successful for us. But we have not needed to spend, fortunately, we haven't needed to spend a significant amount of money to drive the kind of growth that we've had thus far. The viral component of our business has really been huge. But to the question about scalability, as we do grow, and we saw some really beautiful spikes in April and May of this year, and that has a lot to do with COVID, and people being the right product, the right time, and that sort of thing. Scaling is really important. And as you might imagine, we have a fairly labor-intensive business because everything we do is custom. So scaling has to happen, or is enabled rather, through a couple of different things. Number one is just being as efficient as absolutely possible in our operation. And we've got a factory operation in Kansas City. And so it's about efficiency of operation, but adding to that efficiency are some things like some automation to our order management. Today, it's fairly manual. We need to move into an automated system. There is production technology, production equipment that we will invest in that will enable us to move from hand-cut cookies to machine cut cookies that will still give us the customization that we want, and that the business is really built on, but that will enable us to produce more rapidly than we are today. So those are 2 key components. And then there will be expansion down the road into hopefully the neighboring space, but maybe a bigger space. We'll see where we need to go as that growth, we hit our growth peak and need to move into our next space.
Thank you.
Esther, this is Jim. Can I ask one quick question before you cut us off here?
All right.
Time-wise. Holly, can you comment real quickly on what percentage of your customers place reorders? So when you acquire a customer, do they stay with you?
Yes, they do. And so it is a fairly high number. And you saw on the screen, 57% of our repeat customers purchase 3 or more times. And as far as those who come and buy for the first time as a repeat, so 1 to 3, is somewhere, and I'm sorry, I don't know the number off the top of my head because I put the 57 on the screen, but it's somewhere between 50 and 65%.
And then one last simple question along that lines, it'll be quick. What's your mix between consumer and business clients? And then I'm done.
No problem. So in 2019, it was 58%. And in fact, you know what? I have a screen right here. Can I move this? In 2019, it was 58% commercial and 42% consumer. However, because of COVID-19 and the reduction in a lot of events and things like that, where we had a lot of commercial business last year, I expect this to shift a little bit and maybe even be more 50-50 by the time we get to year end.
All righty. Thank you, Holly.
Thank you.
And that's simply the way the cookie crumbles. I want to thank you, Holly, again. Now you can relax until we're ready for final scoring. The chat room is open for a couple minutes as the judges wrap up their scoring. I do see that there is quite a bit of questions, feedback, positivity in regards to Holly Noah of Eat Your Words Cookies, those who have had an opportunity to indulge. So it reads well. This is fantastic. While the judges are scoring, I also just want to take a moment to talk about the Entrepreneurial Academy. The Entrepreneurial Academy for me was a phenomenal experience. And I say phenomenal in probably all caps with a spotlight on the word. And I don't know how much bigger you can get, you know, as a entrepreneur, and really having been an entrepreneur for the majority of my adult life here and there. You don't really know what you don't know until you see that you really don't know it. And the Entrepreneurial Academy and the experts that participated in it taught me that I need to know my numbers. I need to know just the accounting basics. You know, it's bigger than taking in money and spending it out and saving some, but you know, you have to know the basics of it. Business research and planning. Planning to succeed, and then having a plan of action in regards to that success. Marketing, oh my gosh, marketing. I didn't know the importance of marketing until they showed me that marketing goes hand in hand in what you're doing, and you gotta market. And so many more key pieces that I learned in Entrepreneurial Academy. I have been singing the praises of it from probably day one when it started all the way up until the end, all the way up until actually today earlier. I would encourage anyone who is starting out as an entrepreneur, or who is actually a seasoned entrepreneur, to take advantage of this particular class. The next class, it starts September 14th, Monday evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Certain it'll be virtual. And I tell you that it is probably one of the most important, it became the most important thing for me in my week. Every Monday night from 6 to 9, sitting in there getting the blessings that Barry, Kim, and Brittany, and every presenter that came and took the time to share with us, that they brought to the table. It has helped me immensely, and it continues. And so I encourage everyone, if you are, please, Montana has shared the information, the background information, as well as the registration for the Up and Coming Entrepreneurial Academy. If you can, please take the time to register and take part in it. Holly, thank you again. I don't know if our judges are back at this point.
And Esther, I didn't get a chance to chat, but Holly just wanted to say I did get the chance to try your cookies after a rebranding we did with Guardian Eagle, and I was shocked. Usually when you see a cookie that is that pretty, it is not tasty, but it was super tasty. So just wanted to let you know, big fan.
Awesome.
Oh, Esther, I think you might be muted.
I was ready. Did y'all see me? I was talking. Thank you, Lauren. Next up, we have Christina Dills. Christina is the founder of Eventron. Christina, welcome. Are you ready?
Hi.
All right. You're ready. Clock will begin. Let's pitch.
Okay, I'm going to start sharing. So, hello everyone. So like Chris mentioned, we are in extraordinary times. We were supposed to have this event live and in person, and here we are in a virtual St. Pete Pitch Night, which is, just more evidence of the many industries that have been crippled due to the pandemic, especially the events industry. So I want to ask you, what do you think it's going to take to make a safe, large in-person event post-pandemic? So, but before we answer that question, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Christina Dills. I am the founder of Eventron, where we implement event behavior analytics to not only give valuable event insights, but also ensure visitors and staff have the space they need to be safe. So a little background on myself. I used to work for a large software company where part of my role was to allocate marketing funds for events, and it was always a black hole. We never really knew the impact of that investment, and hence the idea of Eventron was born. And before COVID-19 hit, the event sponsorships were planned to triple in the next 5 years, and the industry was growing 5 to 6% year over year. So, but today we are in a different scenario, and we're still dealing with the impact of the pandemic. So, how are we going to overcome these risks that we're faced with today to host safely in-person events? Risks like overcrowding or preventing new outbreaks, which may continue to negatively impact this $1 trillion industry. So I'm going to share with you today how Eventron is going to be part of the solution and how we're going to use emerging technologies to enhance the experience, really provide a safe, fun environment, and help the event industry not only survive, but thrive. So what exactly is Eventron? So it is a cloud platform that utilizes location-based data sources like security cameras to collect and analyze event insights to provide transparency and predictability. So what does that really mean, right? So what we actually do is we run AI imaging software on security cameras. We process that data and provide real-time information and alerts to event venues and organizers. So I'm going to go over some examples of what that looks like. So these dashboards, so before COVID hit, we were focused on really enhancing the experience and really providing more return on the investment in terms of event. So these are some of those kind of stock dashboards that you get. And you can see here like heat maps, zone penetration, traffic reports, demographics, and those are still very valid today. However, after COVID hit, we did some integrations to the platform, which are available on a web application or mobile. And where we really saw where events are going to need that extra support is really on understanding how are they optimizing the space allocation, how are they monitoring occupancy or long queues or long lines, and really help them identify possible overcrowding bottlenecks. So here's some examples of what those dashboards look like. And again, they're on a mobile phone. So if the occupancy threshold or the restriction, for example, is 50%, we set that threshold, and when it's getting close, the users, the organizers or venues will get an alert. And this can be based on the actual event space, the total venue, or a specific area. We can also predict occupancy on those 15-minute increments. So if that we do predict a spike in occupancy in a certain area, they can open up that space or plan accordingly. We can also show them how people are coming and visiting the space in groups, whether it's one or more people, and how long are they spending, versus, are they spending 30 minutes or 1 hour, which also will help with the predictions. So this is available on the mobile app or web application, but it also, that data connects to digital displays. So the occupancy monitoring it's anonymously counting the people coming in and out and gauges that occupancy threshold, but it also communicates to the visitors and staff that area. So if that occupancy threshold is reached, it will stop people from coming and also give them that estimated wait time. So here you can see all these different tools that we use to help optimize the allocation and promote a really fluid event experience. Here's some more heat maps. We do route visualization as well. And this solution does not take much time to implement. We try to use their existing security cameras if they have the proper coverage, and it gives them benefits really early on. So, you know, like we've been all talking, I've been so inspired with what everybody's been saying here today. And, you know, we all have this responsibility to maintain social distancing, and event venues can easily do their part by helping the public have the space they need to be safe. So, you know, we are all in this together. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christina. Back to the judges, Q&A time. 6 minutes on the clock.
Christina, this is Jim. Thanks so much for taking the time to walk us through that presentation. It'd be great when we get back to a time when events are more prevalent in our society and our day-to-day lives. So you're going to play a big role in that as we move forward. Just a couple of questions for you. One, talk a little bit about what the business model is for this. You know, how do you charge for this? How does a customer pay for it? And then who is your target client that you're going after?
Sure. So great questions. So I'll show you a little bit. I do have a slide on the business model. So events, and it depends. So if the customer is an event venue, the business model is a bit different than if the customer is an organizer. And so we target both. It's, you know, because what we target in terms of event organizers is they can resell this as a service. For example, a B2B event, the organizer can sell this to the businesses who are vendors. And so they can see different analytics and valuable insights. However, if it's a venue, you know, they may want to have like a permanent installation with, you know, full coverage. So it just depends. But what we've done is set up that business model in a unique way where they can kind of pick and choose depending on what they want. And it's all based on, you know, how many days and how much coverage do they want. So in terms of the area, so if they want a specific area, you know, how many cameras will it take to cover that area? And then how many days do they want that? So that's one of the kind of revenue generating models. And then if they want a specific kind of package of analytics, for example, space optimization analytics package, they can have like kind of post-event, like post-mortem type of service. So that's more of on the service side, but again, we target the organizers and the venues through a lot of partners. So a lot of current event, how would you say, production companies, for example, that set up Wi-Fi and that they understand the technical aspects of the cameras and the Wi-Fi. They're partnering with me, for example, and they're selling this out to their customers who are already, you know, event venues and organizers. If that makes sense.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Christina. Thank you for your pitch. You did a great job. So you explained that you've got two different customers. I'm assuming that right now there isn't much work that you guys are doing just due to the fact that, well, COVID, right?
Right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of inquiry, but nothing like is in putting in there. So we do have a pilot coming up at the Pittsburgh Convention Center.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how that goes. From a standpoint of your business before COVID hit, what was the percentage base that was event planners versus event venues?
So I officially launched Eventron of January this year, like early January, and pitched at Million Cups, I think, the middle of January. However, what I've done, what Eventron is based on is retail tech. So I have another company that is a more mature company that has retail customers where we're using the data processing from the security cameras. And so what I've done is created a different UI for events. So still the same process. We leverage a lot of that technology, and but in that perspective of events. And before that, I mean, the customer is different. It's and the business model is different. But post-COVID, I mean, like you said, events are kind of shut down totally. So right now, you know, I can't really give that answer yet.
Totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know, but I'll let you know. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out too.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most important things that we have to know as entrepreneurs right now is pivoting is critical. So I think that this is really smart.
Thank you.
Yes. Christina, I'm going to follow up on Lawrence because pivoting and in higher ed, we're having these issues K through 12. So could you talk about how do you have the capacity to pivot to users that are going to be much more regular and have a revenue stream that's going to be more consistent? Talk a little bit about that, please.
So, and that's exactly, so what we did was we did pivot, or we created a new product just for occupancy monitoring. So in that case, for example, if they do want to have kind of a consistent, you know, coverage of occupancy monitoring in this space, then it's just a basic SaaS model where they pay per month per camera. And so we design that so they can use that not only for themselves on their mobile applications for internal users, but also to connect to the digital displays. And so we try to really target even, you know, smaller operations or smaller venues, you know, in terms of the price point, so that we could really get adoption, because it is a software, like I mentioned, that we're leveraging from the retail technology to events. So for us, it's not a huge, you know, incremental cost. So it's as little as like $50 a month per camera.
Christina, quick question from me as well.
Sure.
Esther, how are we doing on time here?
We have 30 seconds left.
Perfect. I'm curious on what your typical strategy is for reach and marketing and how you're actually picking up customers. You know, sans COVID, what was the strategy there and how did that work? And then on the topic of pivoting, very curious on if you're shifting your market at all and what that actually looks like and any specifics.
Okay, so in terms of marketing, I found that the event industry, especially organizers, are very tight-knit communities. They share a lot. They're very open to new ideas. So I've been targeting them and been becoming members of these communities or these organizations and sponsoring with them. And so that's been kind of my marketing direction, is to kind of go through them. They already have the customers. They see the value of this information. And I've talked to several of them already, and they're very eager to offer this as a supplemental service. So they sell more services this way. So I saw that as kind of a win-win scenario. And then oh, sorry.
Sorry, thank you so much, Christina. I apologize, I have to cut you off. Thank you again. It's your turn to relax until we're ready for the final scoring. The chat room, remember the chat room is open for a couple minutes as the judges wrap up their scoring. I do see questions are in there. While they're wrapping up the scoring, I just want to talk a little bit about the greenhouse and what the greenhouse provides to our community. Many of you may know this, and many of you may not. So I want to really focus on the business consulting and mentorship that the greenhouse provides. They have business startup workshops, business plan workshops. Not only that, they have partnerships regarding incentive programs, business navigation, and just a wealth of resources. If you have an opportunity and you want to learn more, please, please, please take the time to go to www.stpetegreenhouse.com. Spend some time on the website. Not only is it a beautiful website, but it's a beautiful website with a wealth of information for those of us who are operating businesses. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So I wanted to know if the judges are done, we will move forward. If not, all right, we need a little more time, and that's fine. I wanted to talk about the initiative right now that we have in the city of St. Petersburg, ensuring that everyone has access to masks and are wearing their masks. There are quite a few different local facilities, businesses that are giving away masks. Please, please, please take the time to go to the city website. They do have that information out there. There are a few, I believe, most recently the Mahaffey Theater, they are giving away free masks. I think it's Monday through Friday at a certain time. Not sure of it. I see you, Ruben. Not sure of the time, but please, please take advantage of the masks that they are giving away. All right, so I got the thumbs up from Ruben that he was ready, so I'm gonna assume, is everyone else ready? Fantastic. Next up, we have Tracy David, founder of Oh Yes Shave Club. Tracy, welcome. Are you ready?
I believe I am. Let me see.
Yay! The clock
screen.
Awesome. The clock is going to begin. Go ahead and pitch.
Okay. Can you see that? Perfect.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So it has been a year. I mean, we're all searching for certainty to help us feel more confident. We're looking for purpose or even just some sense of normalcy in our life. At minimum, we're looking for ways to not add more stress to our lives or create more trauma, which makes me so grateful that I'm here tonight because I get to share with you a simple yet sure way to be able to eliminate one specific area of stress in our lives. I'm Tracy David. I'm the founder and CEO of the Oh Yes Shave Club. And did you know that 2 out of 3 of us have experienced trauma that's made us feel insecure or inadequate in some way? For me, that happened to be a head-on car crash that put me in a wheelchair for a year. After 8 reconstructive surgeries and 7.5 pounds of titanium in multiple places of my body, the doctors told me that I would never walk again without a cane, which that diagnosis in itself began to fuel the criticism and self-hatred that I was already becoming accustomed to. And it turns out that I'm not alone. The average woman criticizes herself 8 times a day, and that number was pre-pandemic. Can you only imagine? So here's the thing. Also, over half of us women said that body hair, unwanted body hair, impacts our confidence. How are we even gonna manage that when 83 million of us women are shaving in the United States currently as our only means of hair removal? We're spending $1.7 billion of the total $4 billion being spent on what they label as female shaving supplies, which, let me just tell you, simply means that they've colored it pink and they've added tax to it. Because let's be real, for 100 years, we've been using a razor that was designed for a man's beard. And it's not for our beautiful bodies. Here are some familiar names that many of you would recognize: Gillette, Schick, Bic, Dollar Shave Club, and even the latest and greatest with Harry's and Billy. What you'll notice by this slide is that they are all the same length, they're all the same rigidity, and they're specifically engineered and designed to create a certain amount of pressure on the beard to remove that hair out of the root of the follicle, cutting it really short so it goes back underneath the skin of the face. Unfortunately, by using that same amount of pressure with these current razors that we have access to, it removes a layer of skin right from the get-go, causing additional trauma and pain to our bodies. Nicks, cuts, prickly pits, and a sore special pretty area. Listen, ladies, we don't need more ways to cause trauma to our bodies. So we deserve something better, and now we have it. Our patented new razor technology is not just 45% longer for a much easier reach. The magic actually comes in the neck. It's flexible, so it intuitively glides over every curve of our body, allowing us to shave in half of the time with no nicks, no cuts, and no skin irritation. And by the way, no yoga poses are required with this one either. So our beta testers have been raving about this new technology. In fact, we had to chase many of them down to get our prototypes even back from them. Joining the Oh Yes Shave Club right now is just $15 a month for all of our shaving supplies, which ends up saving us about 20% every year on our shaving supplies. Also conveniently delivered right to our door exactly when we want it. To date, we've raised $250,000 and experienced $10,000 in pre-sales. It's so awesome that we are able to have this incredible opportunity to be able to serve our community. We're creating new jobs, internships, and financial resources for our local community, which we're super excited about, and we've won tons of awards for our innovation. Our diverse leadership team is fiercely committed to achieving a generosity quotient that is both measurable and impactful, contributing to the inclusion and the empowerment of all women. with a specific focus on survivors of trauma and sex trafficking. This powerhouse team includes people like Ray, who opened 14 franchises in 1 year and now is laser focused on serving women around the world with our brand. And Chris, a former Schick executive who led the $40 million Hydro Soap launch, who's also on our team. We aspire to become the most generous shave company around, providing women with an innovative shave experience to love ourselves. So here's the thing. I set out to inspire women using my own pain, privilege, and platform to drive purpose. And along the way, we discovered a real problem, to which we created a viable and revolutionary solution that has received a 98% approval rate from our beta testers. We've gained traction and have strong partnerships, so we know now is the time. Learning to love my own body allowed me to eventually experience the victory of crossing a marathon line multiple times. Now we are committed to helping 1 million more women feel the same victory of loving ourselves. Of course, raising capital needs to happen, but we're also looking for key influencers and opportunities to share our story with your community. In closing, I'd love to thank you for coming out to support all of the startup community tonight. We greatly appreciate you. If you or someone you know loves innovation, will you consider supporting our cause and becoming an early adopter today for just $1? I'm Tracy David. I'm shaving the world, one woman at a time.
OMG, Tracy, what a fantastic slogan. All right, back to the judges for Q&A. 6 minutes on the clock.
Hey, Tracy, great job. I loved your story. I love that you integrated a personal piece to it that also showed vulnerability. That shows really great leadership, and you'd be somebody I'd be interested in working with. So I loved that. One of my biggest questions is, what's the history behind the name, and how did it come to be?
That is a fantastic question, Lauren. And actually, we did a brand shift late last year, and the original company name was Little Acorn Shave Co., because even the smallest of nuts has the potential to become a mighty oak tree. And it was very lovely and an inspiring story, and everyone got it once we explained it, but for marketing, it was just really labor intensive. And so we did a brand pivot actually before the end of the year, and got feedback from hundreds of women to help us create a new name that would resonate with all of us. And so the Oh Yes Shave Club is all about the fact that, oh yes, Lauren, we can. Oh yes, we do. And oh yes, we will.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy, this is awesome. I love it. Serious traction all around. How do you grow it from here? What's the future plans, and truly, I guess, what's the distribution plan? How do you plan on like the marketing side of this?
Yeah, so Ruben, it's a great question, and obviously marketing is our #1 play. If we don't have a strong foundation for marketing and a systematic plan with campaigns, we will be done before we start. And so we've got some really incredible people on our team that have been building out all different types of campaigns for specific niches that we will address, and the people groups that we want to be able to also serve. We are also starting a nonprofit that added onto our for-profit business that allows us to do research and development on multiple different types of skin types, different demographics of women, different places in the world that they live, and allowing us to be able to develop the product so that all women can be served. So the game plan really is to hit it hard with marketing, to enter into social media. We've got a great following now. We have 7,000 followers on Facebook. We have a couple thousand on Instagram. So we're really playing through that community aspect, Ruben. Does that answer your question?
Pretty much. Just to clarify, so is it direct to consumer, or are you looking at doing distribution through other marketplaces?
It's all e-commerce right now, and we are aware that that is our biggest play. Once we have a large enough following, when we hit about 20,000 members, we think we'll have the margins that we need to be able to offer a retail positioning if we want to go into a retail store. But given the current circumstances, I think that is not even going to be necessary for us.
Sure. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the sales of shaving supplies went up 33% during COVID. So we're pretty excited about the opportunity to be able to bring diversity into the marketplace.
Tracy, this is Jim. Love the positivity of your presentation. Can you talk a little bit about how you're going to handle the manufacturing aspect of this? Do you want to be a manufacturer? Do you want to partner with someone? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we do not need to reinvent the wheel. We need to have some trustworthy partners, which we have right now. We've got a couple of options available to us. We're still working on some local partners here because it would be really awesome to have some stateside manufacturers that could be our main source of production. Right now, we've got them in Asia. They're a reputable company. They've been in business, in the shave business. They're one of the largest companies, and they're willing to create a new razor blade to fit onto our handles. So they're actually willing to private label for us. So we're confident in the opportunities that we have with the partners that we've already secured.
Tracy, this is Sri. Very quick question on, as you're looking at your target audience, as you see the demographics and the millennials are becoming the largest segment, what marketing have you done, testing have you done, and how does this play with the different demographics?
Yeah, great question. So our initial marketing that we did, Sri, was all in a certain demographic. So I'm from the Midwest, and we did all of our testing in the Midwest. So we're aware that the numbers are skewed heavily towards Midwestern women. And we're really looking to be able to do a significant amount of research and development and data collection as we explore other markets and demographics. So where we haven't collected the data yet, we have a very streamlined and specific process in which we want to move forward with in that area.
Thank you.
Oh, all righty. Thank you, Tracy. You can join the other pictures until final scoring is ready. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. Brief reminder, the chat room is open for a couple minutes. I do see everyone is chiming in with feedback. Thank you for that. While the judges are wrapping up their scoring. Oh, we're good? Everyone's good. Oh, fantastic. Then we'll go ahead and move on. Fantastic. Next up, we have Wilson Batista, the founder of June Cyber. Welcome, Wilson. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Just got to share the screen.
Yay, the clock will begin now. Go ahead and pitch. Well, I'll wait till you share. Till you share.
Please, thanks. Okay, are we good? See my screen?
All right, I see you. Okay, the clock begins now.
All right. Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Wilson Bautista. I am a former military officer and CEO of June Cyber, where we're helping veterans find careers in cybersecurity with Ohana, with family. Now, I don't know if you know that coming out of the military can be difficult. I know it was for me. When I came out of active duty, it was a struggle because I only had 6 months to transition to civilian life. It was hard because once I left, I didn't have a community. I longed for a community. That's something that I really miss and something that I really strive to get again. Now, especially in COVID times, we see a surge of both unemployment and cybersecurity attacks. And we also know that there's a massive shortage of cybersecurity personnel around the world. So what are we doing about it? What's June Cyber doing about it? Let's take a look. Now, what if I told you I had a platform that can help reduce the stress of learning a new skill and secure a good paying job? What if I gave companies and other people an opportunity to close their own cybersecurity gaps with the talent of the military, both technical and non-technical? What if I told you I have a platform that will help support a renewed sense of purpose and passion to serve the greater good with our cyber Ohana community? Now, here's how it works. I've been there. I've done that. I've been out of the active service for 6 years. I've seen the rough road ahead. And what I want to do is make it smoother, at least as smooth as possible. So I have an extensive network of like-minded military personnel, like-minded folks that have retired to become mentors. I wanted to become a one-stop shop, somewhere where we could train and we could place and have a diverse Ohana community, where vets get specific soft skills that we don't get in active duty, get the technical training, certification prep, and a partner ecosystem for career coaching and job placement. Now, our business plan is very simple. Lots of fundraising. We're going to resell training and certification prep courses through our partners, as well as work with our talent partners to get referral and placement fees. Now, our go-to market model is this month. Later on this month, we have a social media fundraising campaign, and we're also recruiting for our first cohort. We have partnerships with recruitment firms, mentors, the community for coaching and for job placement. And we're going to continue selling on our learning platform for training and certification prep. Now, how are we different than everybody else? I mean, honestly, you have recruiting companies, you have all these other programs that offer free training. Well, what makes it different is that you have an individual that put his heart and soul into building a platform that speaks to the individual veteran on the challenges that they're going to face. I wanted to build a community. I wanted to build an end-to-end service for them. Not for me, for them, because I want to make an impact on their lives. And so the $5,000 that I'm going to win today is going to be used to fund our first student in our first cohort that's starting next month. We have an awesome, diverse management team. I've got some great people who are dedicated and passionate about our mission to help veterans and to support our country to be awesome. And our current status is, again, we have a fundraising campaign kicking off at the end of July. Our first cohort kicks off early August, and we're building our social community. We're building our learning management system, and we're updating. It's going to go to training, recruiting campaigns, creating awesome content, and to pay our operations and staff. And with that, help our community to build this awesome network. We are going to do this locally, and this is going to be great. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Wilson. Back to our judges for the Q&A. 6 minutes on the clock.
Wilson, first of all, this is Sri. Thank you. Good to see you again. And I think the great cause that you've taken up with your idea. I have the two questions. One, as you look at the number of veterans that are coming out, and what is the opportunity for you to scale it as you look at, I think you had indicated about 200,000 veterans coming out each year. Talk a little bit about the opportunity, what percentage you're going to be targeting, and how you're going to be scaling. And the second part is, you talked about the various challenges that the veterans face. Who would you be partnering with in the NGO community to work with on some of the issues? For example, mental health is good. So those are the two primary questions I have for you.
Okay, so from a scaling standpoint, we're very small. I mean, we actually haven't started our crowdfunding campaign. We want to kick off this first cohort. However, everybody that I've talked to says that this is something that we need. And this is coming from the industry. A lot of veterans are saying, veterans that are in cybersecurity, it's just like, yeah, we have a lot of companies that certify. We have a lot of companies that place, but we need something that ties us together. So something that I'm looking at building to help scale this is different chapters within our network in different regions in order to help scale and help at least deliver mentorship services to our constituents. and to our students and for the overall community. Not only that, just from a national standpoint, I've talked to other veterans that are still in this, like the same mindset of we want community that are located globally. I have colleagues that are in France and Australia that said, this is a great idea. So that's coming like maybe in our 5-year plan. As far as mental health and getting those support networks for veterans that are going through those difficult times, what I'd like to do is partner with the Veterans Affairs and some of the veteran career centers that are part of the Veterans Affairs, but not really, to say, hey, we have these opportunities for veterans that are experiencing hard times, and we could refer them to them as a resource.
Thank you.
Hi, Wilson. Lauren here. So from a business strategy perspective, walk me through how you're going to make this thing make money.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with, first, this is a nonprofit, so I'm not going to try to say that we're going to make millions off of this. This is all about impact. How are we going to make an impact? It costs about $5,000 to put a student through our entire program, and that's going through mentorship, soft skills training, hard skills training, the certification process, and all the time that goes with that. Most of the revenue that is going to be generated, hopefully, is here from Tampa Bay area, because we do have a large military presence here from the MacDill Air Base. So what I would like to do is have the back end, the placement fees. Typically, what we're seeing is that a placement fee for entry-level cybersecurity person will be about $20,000, and we split that 50-50 with our partner that we're working with, Winter Partners, that's based out of here in St. Petersburg. So that is going to be one of our main sources of revenue.
Wilson, this is Jim. First, thank you so much for your service. And second, does the government spend any money on programs like this to reskill veterans as they're stepping away from the military into the workforce? I'm wondering if there's a government contracting model here or a partnership with a government contractor model to generate revenue.
Yeah, so the government does have their transition readiness seminars, and they also have Skills Bridge and other programs to help veterans transition to different kinds of careers. We haven't explored the opportunity to create a revenue stream with the government yet, but that's something that we are definitely looking into, especially because I'm a service disabled veteran, I'm a business owner, and I'm a veteran. So that's definitely what we're looking at doing.
Awesome, awesome. Wilson, thank you for your service, and you did a fantastic job. You can join the other pitches until final scoring is ready.
Thank you.
Again, the chat room is open for a couple minutes as the judges wrap up their scoring. I do see a lot of fantastic questions and comments being put in the chat room, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know, judges, give me the thumbs up when you're ready. If you're still in the process, and let me go back to, is everyone good? All right, good, good, good. I see you, Ruben. So I want to talk briefly about the City of St. Petersburg Fighting Chance Fund. If you are not aware of this fund, they are going into the third round right now. In the third round, this particular grant opportunity, it provides relief to small businesses impacted by the local COVID, well, not the local, the national COVID-19 pandemic. City of St. Petersburg has created the Fighting Chance Fund as an emergency grant. And if you're familiar with grants, that means that it does not need to be paid back, which is always a plus. So if you are aware of it, fantastic. If you are not aware of it, please go to www.stpete.org. You can put Fighting Chance in the search bar, and it will pull up all of the information in regards to that particular initiative. All right, judges, are we ready? All right, fantastic. So our last and final pitch, we have Johnny Croder, founder of Cope Notes. Johnny, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty, Johnny, the clock will begin. Let's pitch.
There we go. So hello, my friends. My name is Johnny Crowder, and I'm the founder and CEO of Cope Notes. And mental health has always been a huge part of my life. So I'm a suicide and abuse survivor, and I spent 10 years in treatment for multiple mental health conditions. So this is top of mind for me lifelong. But it's not just me. We know that almost half of Americans will face mental illness at some point in their lifetime. And that's enough of a reason for me to dedicate my life to mental health advocacy. So I got involved with NAMI doing mental health support and advocacy back in 2011. And since then, I went to UCF for psychology, and I have been dead set on bridging the gap between treatment and everyday wellness for people just like me with or without diagnoses. And it's 2020, so it's probably no surprise to you that this is a pretty important and expensive issue. It's costing the global economy more than $1 trillion every year. And we also know that more than half of mental illness is going untreated. A ton of it is going undiagnosed. So we can't keep relying on diagnoses and tragedies to steer the conversation anymore. So preventative health measures like Cope Notes are designed to fill those gaps and get there before the crisis, before the tragedy, before the headline, and actually equip people. So we provide daily mental health support via text message. We send one randomly timed text a day, and this is an intervention. It surprises the brain with a catalyst for positive thought. And all of our texts are written by peers with lived experience. So much like AA, we have a peer support base. And they're all reviewed by mental health professionals to make sure that whether we're sending an exercise or a psychology fact or a piece of encouragement or a prompt that someone can actually text back and respond to, they're reviewed by these professionals to make sure that we're not just texting something easy to understand. We want to text something helpful and based on proven psychological principles. Now, our content is not based on any specific diagnosis. Like we mentioned earlier, so much of mental illness goes undiagnosed anyway, so it's not a reliable indicator. Instead, we focus a lot on common stressors and habits and triggers, common aspects of the human experience like stress, anxiety, loneliness, doubt, grief, self-esteem, things that affect us on a daily basis. Now, each of our users can journal back and text at any time. And this is really cool because it's not a conversation with a crisis counselor or anything like that. This is, think of it like a pocket journal that can reach out to you once a day to prompt you to speak freely, to process your feelings, to improve that emotional IQ, improve that emotional independence. And you can truly say whatever you want because it's anonymous, 100%. If you signed up right now, I would have no clue. We don't even collect names. And because you're not downloading anything, because you're not installing any software, we don't collect any of that back-end data that some apps use to sell to advertisers. How it works is really cool. I'm a psychology nerd, so bear with me here. Every time we experience something, it has an impact on the way we process information, on our mood, on our personality. So a lot of people think that Cope Notes is like spearheading the cognitive restructuring movement. No, your brain is rewiring itself 24/7 anyway. This is a process that's already happening naturally, and all we do is try to guide it. So we know that the more often we think a thought, the easier it is to think, the more likely we are to think it again. And your brain enjoys thinking natural, feeling comfortable thoughts. In other words, your brain is lazy. And we're trying to get it to default to new thought patterns instead of relying on those old ones that have gathered momentum over time. The truth is that those negative thought patterns need to be interrupted consistently. And that's exactly what Cope Notes is designed to do. A lot of people ask me why I didn't make it an app, because it's 2020 and everything is an app, but it's because you ignore all the app notifications on your phone. Don't feel guilty, so do I. It's not on purpose. It's just we're flooded with notifications. However, SMS is still an extremely reliable method of communication in 2020. And because we're in the business of interrupting negative thought patterns, and we know that 80% of our daily thoughts are negative in nature and 90% of texts are read within 3 minutes of being delivered, we have a pretty good chance of interrupting that negative thought pattern. And what I love about Cope Notes is that it initiates that daily engagement. There will be days where you don't want to exercise, you don't want to call a therapist, you don't want to use a crisis resource, you don't even want to brush your teeth or get out of bed, and Cope Notes will be there for you every single day. And this is true even for people without smartphones. So there are plenty of mental health apps out there, but what about the 2.5 billion cell phone users who can't use them because they don't have smartphones, they don't have data plans, and they don't have internet? Cope Notes has their back. We have 3 different subscription tiers. Personal subscriptions are for anyone with or without a diagnosis who wants to build healthier habits. We have gift subscriptions for friends or family members who want to support a loved one. And we have group subscriptions. This is where we partner with schools and insurance companies and businesses to help them establish automated wellness systems in their community. And our true north for pricing has always been, we wanted a full year of Cope Notes to cost less than the price of a single therapy session. And that's still true today. I'll skip testimonials for the interest of time. And they're on our website if you want to check them out. And I just wanted to say, this morning we hit our 91st country. We have users in 91 countries around the world, and it's all been through word of mouth. And I just want to thank 1 Million Cups for letting me present, because this is how we reach more communities. So thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Johnny. Back to the judges for Q&A, and 6 minutes on the clock.
Thank you. Great presentation. Great story. And I was following you with the psychology nerd there. I could have geeked out with you a little bit as well. So,
Heck yeah.
So thanks for sharing that. I see here that you basically are taking a wellness play, a couple of different channels to do that. But there is some work being done on positive thoughts, positive feelings related to performance in a job, right? In corporate America, in revenue generation positions, et cetera. Have you ever thought about putting together, a channel to approach that as well?
Yes, so we're actually, your timing is perfect. We're hiring our first sales rep this coming Monday, he starts, and that's his focus. We're talking about how workplaces actually make back $4 for every single dollar they spend on mental wellness initiatives for their employees. So that's our goal for the rest of 2020, especially with things going remote, is to bring that to light for employers and say, hey, there are less expensive options, and mental health doesn't have to be as scary as you think.
Your timing could be really good for that play. And then another thought, just a question. Talk a little about, you said that you have acquired all of your clients, all your customers via word of mouth with, I'm assuming that's with no marketing. I mean, talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's an actual miracle. So we started doing research with USF Health in 2018, and we got some local press off of that in early 2019. And it wound up just kind of catching, and we were on the front page of Reddit, and we just did a feature with CNN, and a lot of the spread of Cope Notes and people gifting each other subscriptions and stuff has been either through individuals telling other people. This is how most of our inbound enterprise requests have come in, or someone seeing it on the news and buying a subscription for themselves or a friend or family member. So there's a little spot on our form, our subscription form, where people can say where they heard about us. And all of the form fills that don't say press, like TV or an article, all of them say my mom or my friend or my family member. So we know that word of mouth is really strong with this.
And then Johnny, last question for me. What was your first year that you started to generate revenue?
It was 2018. It was right when we started. I will say, to be fair, there were 2 versions of this before that were not called Cope Notes. There were peer support resources, a lot different than this, but Cope Notes is the 3rd iteration of something I've been trying to build for a long time.
Thank you.
Johnny, I love the passion, and you're obviously extremely knowledgeable about the mental health space and everything with that, and obviously have the psychological background behind all of it. And I think the approach of SMS over app is a really great approach from this sense, and a good place to start. And I do also agree with Jim, growing a large team and understanding kind of the inner workings and everything behind that, and even the statistic that you threw out. I think there's a lot of opportunity to move that direction. So it's good to hear that you're moving that way. Virality is super nice. If you can keep it up, it's awesome, but it takes a lot of work. And it's certainly not going to drive long-term growth. So I'm actually curious, even though you've been lucky enough to not have to spend on marketing and advertising in that sense, what's your plan for it? And then a couple little follow-ups around like length of subscription for most users, your cost of acquisition, and lifetime customer value as it relates.
Yeah, so let's see, that was like 4 questions at once. So I'm gonna try to start with the first one.
I can repeat it if you need them to.
So the first one was about how we plan on actually sustaining this, and it's ultimately the enterprise play. So we expect word of mouth to continue to sustain B2C for quite some time. And while we haven't done traditional marketing, so I can't really get you the CAC, I'm not 100% positive on that. We are doing some testing with BuzzFeed over the last couple of weeks. They hit us up about doing a partnership, and we're doing some video ad testing with them. But I can say that in terms of the actual scaling and growth of Cope Notes, we are working on some insurance pilots. We're working with some school districts, and that's really what's actually going to get us integrated into systems. For a long time, we've been trying to go from B2C up. And over the past year, we've started to say, how can we connect with those community leaders, the decision makers, and have it disseminate down so that employees get it automatically, students get it automatically, and things like that. So that's kind of our plan there. And then the average subscription term length is actually going up, which is really cool to see. For a long time, it was right around 6 months, and it's creeping up slowly to 7 and 8 months. We're seeing an upward trend, which is really exciting. That means we're improving our UX, and the average lifetime value of an individual customer is right around $89.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course.
Hey, Johnny, quick question. This is Shri. This is fantastic story again. And so my question for you is, how are you defining success, and how are you measuring the impact? Since you're not collecting data specifically on this, talk a little bit about that, and then maybe you can talk also a little bit about how you're dealing with in education, especially higher ed.
Sure. So we're very fortunate to be connected with USF Health, and they're actually helping us measure success in a more specific way because they can collect information that Cope Notes doesn't. So we've done a study with them that's being published very shortly. We're launching another big research project with NSF in the fall, and they're helping us understand if people are experiencing reduced self-stigma, if they're experiencing increased self-esteem or illness self-management. So they are actually helping us with the specific success identifiers that we don't really collect because we don't even collect much of anything from these people. So one of the anonymized ways that we collect information is through our feedback form. We've had about 1,000 of our users fill out the feedback form and tell us what they liked, what they didn't like, and we made a lot of changes due to that. And I'm trying to remember your other question.
Johnny,
yeah.
I am so sorry, but time is up. But fantastic job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, absolutely. Just a quick reminder, everyone, the chat room is open as the judges wrap up their scoring. I wanted to also make mention, if you like what you've experienced here with Pitch Night, if you want to see more entrepreneurs succeed, please consider sponsoring a St. Pete Pitch Night. Your sponsorship matters. And so if you enjoyed this, please consider sponsoring. Candace has put up information on how you can reach out to her, both via her email and her phone number. Take a time to get that information so that we can continue along this vein. And I want you guys to know that that completes tonight's pitches. Everyone did a fantastic job, and I just want to give a virtual and probably a loud clap if it's coming through on my laptop. Thank you guys for taking the time to come and spend with us. The judges have graded each pitch based on a scoring rubric that focused on 4 categories. These categories include content and structure, communication, presentation effectiveness, and innovative idea quality and vitality. The pitch that scores the highest number of points will win the top prize of $5,000 cash award. Their starting their startup report profiles the companies that are putting our community on the venture map. And I would say, while we're waiting for the judges to tally their scores, if they have not already finished, we want to invite Miles Featherstone Resch and his mother, Jess. Miles is our 2019 St. Pete Pitch Night winner from the inaugural Pitch Night in, of course, 2019. He wants to share, I would like for Miles to share how he has been developing and growing the Kids Saving Oceans initiative. Miles, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Hi everyone, I'm Miles Featherstone, founder and CEO of Kids Saving Oceans. I'm here again with my mom, Jess. You may remember us as the winners of the first ever St. Pete Pitch Night.
Hi everyone, I'm Mom, or Jess. A huge congrats to everyone involved in putting tonight together, from the folks at the greenhouse to the St. Pete Chamber to each of the pitches. They were all fantastic. Our community is better because of each of you, and thank you for asking us to speak tonight.
A lot has happened since Pitch Night. First, many of my friends asked me for monies to buy Legos. Don't worry, I said no. I was one of 10 kids in the country to win the SeaWorld Environmental Excellence Award. I turned 8, which honestly isn't that different from 7. I finally learned to ride my bike. Because I won Pitch Night, I was in the news. That was neat. I was a presenter at the Synapse Summit in February, and I still have that big check hanging in my room.
With the prize money from Pitch Night, Kids Saving Oceans was able to bring 4 new designs to life, create shirts for grown-ups and babies, and invest in some much-needed marketing help. In our pitch in November, Miles told you that an investment in Kids Saving Oceans is an investment in our community, since the proceeds of each sale are donated to a nonprofit organization working every day to make our oceans and our beaches better.
My last event this year before coronavirus was Locotopia. Because of my new designs and products I bought with the prize money, I sold more at that one event than I did in all of 2019. You can check out my new stuff at kidsavingoceans.com. When I pitched, I had donated over $6,000. Now I've donated over $15,000. As the direct result of the money I won, I was able to donate to groups like Keep Pinellas Beautiful, Force Blue, Black Girls Dog, and the Marine Mammal Center.
So the other big news from Kids Saving Oceans since we pitched is Miles wrote a book. Here it is. It's called Kids Saving Oceans, Olivia Makes a Difference. And this book was inspired by the story of Miles and Kids Saving Oceans. It's a reminder that you are never too young or too old or too whatever to make a difference. It's a reminder that one person's choice multiplied by a lot of us will make a difference and change the world. Miles co-wrote this book with St. Pete author Tori McGee, and it was published by a local St. Petersburg-based publishing company. It's available for purchase at Book and Bottle and online wherever you buy your books. And Miles is donating all the proceeds from the book to Keep Pinellas Beautiful to protect our oceans and beaches. So since we talked to you last November, things have been going really great, and some really great things have been happening for Kids Saving Oceans. But like everyone else, this year has also been hard. It's been painful, and at times it's been heartbreaking. But amongst the heartbreak and the loss, there's been a lot of good too.
In 2020, we've seen a world come together to rise up for Black lives everywhere. In 2020, we've seen a world come together to fight against a pandemic that doesn't care about our differences. I bet, like a lot of you, I watched Hamilton this weekend. And you know when Hamilton sings that song, My Shot, about not missing our opportunities? Well, what if 2020 is our shot? This year, I have learned how to speak up for my Black and brown friends. This year, I have learned how to wear a mask to protect my grandparents and my community. When I closed my pitch last year, I told you that a polluted, empty, lifeless ocean should not be the inheritance we leave my generation. So maybe the shot we take in 2020 will be that we stop talking about change and we put in the work to make change happen. Maybe the legacy of 2020 will be that we found our power and our courage for our neighbors, for our country, for our planet. and for our oceans, because this time history has its eyes on us. Good luck to everyone tonight. Thank you again for having us. The sun shines a little brighter here in St. Pete, and we are so grateful to be part of this community.
Oh my God, Miles, you are fantastic. Like, I wanna take off my glasses and jump through the screen and give you a hug, man. Golly day. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for those words. They touched in a special spot. And you, I would love to see you in 10 years. Oh man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Ms. Jess. And thank you for raising him. Oh my God, hats off to you too. I'm emotional, y'all. Miles just got me a little emotional. It don't happen often. So guys, we have a favor now. We'd like to ask the audience to assist us with something. We want to know which startup would you choose as the St. Pete Pitch Night's first top pitch. The winner of the audience's choice will receive a $500 cash prize. What we're going to do first, we're going to run a test, a poll test. It's a practice test. It's going to ask you what's your favorite color. We'll give you about 30 seconds for your input. You should see it now. If you can just go ahead and select what your favorite color is, press submit. And then it'll go through and that'll let us know the poll is running as it should. All right. I love it. Awesome. So now that you've seen how the poll works, we're going to launch the Audience Choice Award poll, and you'll see the results of your favorite color. It'll pop up. Who would you vote as your favorite pitch? The poll is going to come up and it'll remain open for 2 minutes. And remember, this is the Audience Choice Poll Award. I know it's going to be hard because every pitch was fantastic. Every single one.
Don't know what to say, like a lollipop. Yeah, that's how you taste. Sweeter than what's in the ice cream truck. You were
Hey.
really no need to speak too much.
Virtual party, guys.
Don't know your name right now. That needs to change right now. Saw you cross the room. Another set to say, oh la la. We should get acquainted like, oh la.
Thank you, Stephanie. All righty, I see the poll results are in. All righty, so question. Now that the poll results are in, I would like to see if any of our judges have any final thoughts or advice moving forward.
Sure, Esther, I can jump in. I was just say, guys, congratulations. It takes some guts to get up here, even when it is digital, to come and have 100 people judge you and all of your passion and your hard work that you're putting into what you love to do. So congratulations for that. You guys are each a winner tonight. But one of the things that I would say, anytime you've got a pitch, it's really, really important that you know your audience, and being very, very specific about your customer and who that is one of the best ways to create the most effective pitch. So as you're looking to improve your pitch moving forward, because everybody always has room to grow, that's one of the things that I would suggest. Make sure that you really know who that ideal target is and speak to that, because that makes it easier for people to understand what you do and where the power lies within it.
And this is Shri, and again, I want to join Lauren in congratulating all the presenters. And this is, again, you hear the passion and the inspiration behind each of those pitches. It is terrific to see that our communities, we have such great ideas in our community. Just to add to Lauren, also is that the Q&A is also part of your pitch. So please keep that, the question and answers. If we can get concise and very clear, answers coming through, that also helps present more information about your the business idea. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Anyone? All right, I see you released, Jim. Go ahead.
Not necessarily any coaching or pointers for the next pitch. I would just say overall, all the presentations were excellent tonight. When the judges got together to make our decision, we all wish that we had a big pile of money that we could give money to everybody to support this entrepreneurial community and keep us growing here in St. Pete. But I just want to thank you guys so much for the time and energy that you put into your companies and into our communities and for being here with us tonight. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I just want to very quickly add to Kim, Jessica, and the entire team for making this happen. I mean, this is given all the challenges, I want to just give a big shout out to them for making this happen. Thank you.
Yeah, and thumbs up to the best MC ever.
Just wanted to quick say, obviously this is not an easy thing to do, especially virtually. And huge congrats to everyone and the traction that you've had with your company so far. Quite excited for the future and to see where you all go.
All righty, thank you. And I concur. The background work that went on behind this and the weeks of putting it together was amazing. And so I am appreciative of being a part of such a phenomenal team. And when you operate from a place of excellence, you get something like this that works in this fashion. So thank you for inviting me as well. So now to the final results of St. Pete's Top Pitch Night. We want to congratulate all of the presenters tonight on their hard work and hustle to make it to the first St. Pete Pitch Night of 2020 and present to the St. Pete community. Congratulations to the winner of the Audience Choice Award, and that winner is
Oh Yes Shave Club.
Yay! Fantastic. Congratulations. And then St. Pete's 2020 Pitch Night winner of $5,000 goes to
Cope Notes.
Yay! Listen, all of you guys were fantastic and are deserving of everything. Congratulations to those who won. Congratulations to those who presented. Pitching is not an easy thing to do. So hats off to you. Hats off to you. I see you, Johnny. Johnny is like, are you crying, Johnny?
I'll just say this. I've been praying a lot and it's been a really difficult year. So this is an answer to prayer.
Thank you, Johnny. As a social worker, I recognize what you do is needed. And so hats off to you, sir. Hats off to you. Thank you all for joining us for the first St. Pete Pitch Night of 2020. We take pride in our community. If you haven't recognized it, we love St. Pete. Thank you for coming together to support entrepreneurs that are helping to make this city the city that we love. Stay tuned for St. Pete Pitch Night announcements for 2020. Thank you to our sponsors, Regions Bank, USF St. Pete, Kate Tiedemann College of Business, Work Lodge, St. Pete Greenhouse, City of St. Petersburg, St. Pete Area Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank Chris for coming in. I want to thank Mayor Kreisman for coming in. And again, thank you to the Greenhouse team for putting this together. I don't know if anyone else has anything to say before we say adieu.
I just want to say thank you so much for pivoting with us in this virtual setting. You've all just been so incredible, and I was just so blown away by all of the presentations. And Esther, you're an awesome MC, and thank you to all of our volunteers too. You guys are amazing.
Sarah, Kim, you guys want to say anything? Anyone else?
I think
No, we're good.
A dance party now. I think we're all good to go. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for making a successful virtual pitch night, and have a good night.
Thank you, thank you. Love you all.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations, Johnny.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Congratulations, Johnny.
Translation.